My name is Mark Storr, Tech Service Rep with BSF. Today I'm going to be talking about recommendations and applying Engenia herbicide. We will be discussing EngeniaTankMix.com, talking about best recommendations, tank mixes, additives, mixing order, and sprayer cleanout. Be sure to consult your Engenia supplemental label and make sure you understand the restrictions on spray volume, travel speed, boom height, and then also directions on wind speed, wind direction, and buffers. For the long-term success of Engenia herbicide, we're going to have to follow the best management practices to control weeds and manage them properly. The label specifies the use of Engenia on weeds that are 4 inches in height or less. So it's in our best interest to make sure we're making timely applications to small weeds. We also should include multiple effective sites of actions and residual herbicides, both pre and post with Engenia. There's also a lot of information at our website, EngeniaTankMix.com. There's 3 main things I wanted to call out here on this web page shot. The first being the glyphosate rate restriction. There is a maximum amount of glyphosate that can go out with each application with Engenia. Second bullet point is you'll notice that there's some products on this list or approved list have to go out with a drift retardant agent, and others can only be used when tank mixed with glyphosate that is on the approved list. And finally, for those of you contemplating a tank mix, make sure you're picking products from the various categories that are on the approved list. Several different brands of glyphosate are on the approved website. But as I said earlier, there is a maximum use rate of 1.125 pounds of acid equivalent per acre per application. So with all the different formulations, there may be some confusion as to what the maximum rate that can be used by product. And you'll note from this chart, when I've broken all these different formulations apart, some products like Roundup Power Max, for example, the maximum use rate would be 32 ounces per acre, where others go all the way up to 48 ounces, or even one at 57.6 ounces per acre. So make sure that you know the maximum rate that can be applied based on the type of glyphosate you're using. You'll also note that some products may require certain tank mixes or approved drift reduction agents. For example, from this list of herbicides that are all listed for tank mixing with Engenia, some of them, like for example the ones in red, must be used with a drift retardant. So for example, Outlook and Prowl in your first column there are products that in order to get those through the wind tunnel testing, we needed to add an approved drift reduction agent to get the right droplet spectrum out of the approved nozzles. And there's also a group of products with the blue dots there that those must be applied with glyphosate, a form of glyphosate on the approved list. And again, that's just based on the wind tunnel testing that occurred to approve these tank mixes. There's a rather large list of approved adjuvants for use with Engenia. Adjuvants may be of several types and offer different properties that may affect the spray solution and product performance. For example, they can condition the water, which prevents tie-up of certain herbicides in solution. They can reduce surface tension, which will increase the droplet coverage. They can increase herbicide penetration and uptake, or they can decrease drift. Adjuvant types should be considered based on the requirements of the tank mix partners. Consult all your product labels for rates and recommendations. BASF has not evaluated all potential approved tank mixes for compatibility. That said, we have prepared some general mixing order guidelines that may be helpful as you pull together some of these tank mixes. So this is a sheet that's available from your local BASF representative. On the right-hand side, you can kind of get a general idea of a step-by-step process that one would use to mix together these different active ingredients. Some of the highlights I'll point out, making sure that we do differentiate. Some products need to go in the tank before others. You always start with a clean sprayer, 1/2 to 3/4 full, and start agitation before mixing any of the other products. Maintain that agitation throughout the process, and once all products are mixed together, continually maintain that agitation until the product is sprayed off. When we're done spraying Engenia, we want to make sure we clean out the sprayer. And it's not a difficult job and not that much different than probably what you're doing with other products today. It's just going to be a standard triple rinse with a detergent-based commercial tank cleaner. Follow all the directions and manufacturer's guidelines for the tank cleaner. Ensure the cleaner flows through all the sprayer plumbing, removing boom end caps, nozzles and screens, and all filters. And then when you're all done, wash the exterior of your sprayer. Engenia herbicide has been approved by the EPA for a 2-year conditional registration. We must follow specific requirements to maintain this registration. Successful stewardship is a cooperative effort between growers, retailers, applicators, as well as us manufacturers. Engenia herbicide stewardship is really twofold. One, resistance management stewardship will be important to maintain the long-term viability of this product. And two, our on-target application stewardship to make sure that we don't endanger sensitive crops. Thank you very much for your time. If you have questions or need additional information about Engenia, please contact your local BSF representative.